Tonight on Revolt Black News Weekly, watching Black women's weight, the obesity crisis, and the pain and distress of body shaming.
Spandex ain't for everybody, sweetheart.
This really is an epidemic. This is a problem. This is something that needs to be addressed.
We break down the numbers and what defines obesity.
To be honest, I don't even let my clients use the BMI scale to measure their success or to measure their progress just because the scale is so distorted.
Examining the hard truth that having obesity is mostly genetic.
The number one factor contributing to our weight struggles in this country was genetics.
Then we explore how the stresses and trauma from racism and injustice can actually make you fatter.
We deal with the stressors that everyone deals with, and then you add on the layers of racism and trauma. These are huge things that lead to us retaining and storing more fat.
Plus,
This is the medicine pen.
endless weight loss fads, diets, pills, surgeries, and now the skinny pen, a diabetes injection being used to drop pounds. Are we sacrificing our health in the name of beauty? That's tonight as the Black News Revolution starts right now. Hey everyone, I'm Mara Escampo and welcome to the show. We start tonight with the debate surrounding body positivity. Stars like Lizzo are being applauded for inspiring self-love and body acceptance. But at the same time, they're often accused of promoting obesity. So which is it? Does what feeds the soul endanger the body?
I love my cellulite. I love my hip dip.
The body positivity movement has helped the community.
The emphasis on health has been removed.
We're normalizing and not acknowledging the fact that being overweight is not healthy.
So is the body positivity movement helping or hurting us? First, the stats. This map from the CDC illustrates where obese Black adults live. The darker the color, the more obesity. But specifically for women, the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases found Black women in 2018 were the most obese and severely obese group in the country at 57%. But those numbers are based on BMI, or body mass index, which is simply weight related to height. A BMI between 25 and 30 is considered overweight, and anything over 30 is obese. The index was created by a mathematician, not a doctor, in the 1830s and was tailored to white men specifically. But the much bigger problem with BMI is that it doesn't take body composition into consideration, making it essentially useless.
To be honest, I don't even let my clients use the BMI scale to measure their success or to measure their progress just because the scale is so distorted.
Personal trainer Tasha Hall became her own first fitness client after tipping the scale at 235 pounds.
I'm only 5'3". The BMI scale, I would definitely consider obese. Like, I might even be considered obese right now, which is crazy.
What the BMI does not take into account is muscle mass, bone density, fat percentage.
Both triple board certified Dr. Frida Fisher and concierge medicine physician Dr. Jamila Gator agree that BMI is not a full and accurate picture of a person's health. But where they disagree is on how the body positivity movement is affecting the numbers.
This really is an epidemic. This is a problem. This is something that needs to be addressed. You know, these are our mothers, daughters who are dying in childbirth, who are dying of heart attacks way too early. Just, you know, to have a perception to be voluptuous or sexy or just to conform to some norm.
Watch out for the big curls.
When it comes down to it, in order to be healthy, just healthy as a whole, mentally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy, there has to be an elevated self-esteem. So in general, I think the body positivity movement has helped,
You can't just be out here saying like, I'm 300 pounds, but I'm fine and I'm happy. But again, you can't walk up the steps. That's not body positivity. That's unhealthy, like, period.
With this wanting to have all representations, which I think is wonderful, we're having almost this dysmorphia, though, about what is a healthy weight and what is a healthy size.
Black women should be able to have the power to do what they want with their body. I'm going to show mine because I love it.
Sports Illustrated swimfluencer and nurse Hillary Banks says as a little girl, her family instilled self-love and acceptance. So she's been body positive from day one.
And the people keep saying it's a trend. I'm like, how is it a trend? Like, because people love their body, because people are being more accepting of their body, why is that such a terrible thing? I mean, it shouldn't be a trend. It should just be a lifestyle, you know? But I see that certain companies, they want the plus girl, you know? They want the plus girl. They want the plus, and if you plus and you're Black, that's a positive, like, oh my gosh, we just two birds, one stone.
But for Hillary, plus doesn't equal out of shape.
I have never met anyone that actually was a plus woman that wasn't trying to be healthier. Most of the plus models that I know, they go to Pilates, they go cycle, they eat healthy. Most of them are vegan, but people see it as, well, if you're all of those, you should be skinny. No, not necessarily.
Hey, even though you're plus size, like, you still can be healthy. Because every time I go to the doctor, they say my BMI is off, but other than that, my other numbers look great.
Skims model and influencer Wandrea Gilmore says some bodies are just meant to be bigger, and many people use the health aspect as an excuse for terrible bullying.
Reading the comments, I can actually see how people are depressed and want to kill themselves on social media. People are ruthless.
There is nothing that enrages me more than fat models.
Oh my God, the trolls be trolling and they are mean. They would say like stuff like, go to the gym, fat.
All Black women are not on the train of plus women showing their bodies or being body positive. Like, all Black women are not for me in a bikini. They will really read me as if I'm a child in church, okay?
I wear my flaws on my sleeve. The term body positive only exists because of body shaming. Like me, ashamed to be, and honestly, I'm fed up with it.
Lizzo is not saying, hey, everyone, go out, eat unhealthy things, stop exercising. All she's saying is love yourself where you are. What Lizzo is doing is helping to counteract some of the very real images that teenagers and other vulnerable young girls are seeing that are leading them to die by suicide.
At this point, I realize that my mere existence is a form of activism, especially in the body positive community, and I wear that hat really well.
When we come back, Revolt Black News debates. Women on both sides of this issue weigh in, no pun intended, including a body positive model who shares how she handles trolls and all of their hateful messages. Plus, a word from self-love queen Lizzo herself.
I was almost always the only fat person, frequently the only Black person. So I started posting my photos, and immediately the reaction that I got, it was mostly people being like, I didn't know fat people could do yoga.
Self-described fat femme, Jessamine Stanley, is defying yoga instructor stereotypes while advocating self-acceptance. So can we be healthy and obese at the same time? I'm joined by some women with very strong opinions on obesity and body positivity. Dr. Frida Fisher is a triple board certified medical doctor. Dr. Jamila Gator is a concierge and lifestyle medicine physician. We have personal trainer, Coach Tasha Hall, and model and nurse Hillary Banks, who has been featured in Sports Illustrated's swimsuit edition. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So this is a conversation that's very personal to me because when I was growing up, I was tormented about my weight by a family member. And so when I see these images today, the body positivity, the Jessamine Stanleys, Hillary's in Sports Illustrated, I think how amazing it would have been to have grown up with those images and to have freed myself from a lot of the mental torment that I went through. So Dr. Gator, I want to start with you about the kind of the mental health aspect of it. I mean, isn't self-acceptance, self-love key to physical health? And conversely, isn't self-loathing and self-hatred really damaging to our physical health? I mean, isn't this body positivity movement good for us in those ways?
In those ways, yes. I mean, having self-esteem is very important and not being ashamed of accepting who you are. However, you have to look at the reality of the situation in terms of obesity and the risk factors that it causes. And that's something that I think is not really being addressed, and it's really almost being dismissed.
What do you mean by that?
We have this misperception and misconception about what healthy looks like. It's one thing to be overweight, it's another thing to be obese and morbidly obese and consider that as being normal, because obesity is a vital sign. It tells us what's going on with your body and that you're at risk for so many different complications. And if you only knew that, you would probably try to be healthier and make some more positive changes in terms of health.
So, Dr. Frieda, when we're talking about physical health, there are a lot of people who would argue you can be healthy at every size. We saw Jessamine Stanley in doing the yoga. She's amazing at that. We see Lizzo's dancers. They're all big girls and they perform for hours. Can you be healthy at any size, or at some point is there a line where it really is a marker of poor health?
There certainly is some point where it's a marker for poor health. But body positivity to me does not mean body delusion. It just means embracing oneself and not hating oneself as you try to strive toward being healthier. We can all be healthier. What I don't like is when you have people who are using the health as an excuse to body shame. And you'll see that a lot of people trolling on the internet and she's just so unhealthy, but then giving specific insults on how they don't like how someone looks.
When I see a fat person modeling on Instagram and saying fat acceptance, that makes me angry.
What would an average to cute woman?
And what if I need help picking a plane?
State Farm's here to help.
Okay, guys. What if he's not actually 7'4"?
At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Who's almost 6 feet tall and 200 pounds, with a 1-year-old, be able to land a top 1% man?
Oh, you killing them, girl. Ooh, hot girl summer. No, fat girl, you look stank. You worried about putting makeup on your face. You need to be worried about getting that fat off your body.
There are people who meet the BMI that is overweight or that says that they're living with obesity who actually have a small waist circumference, high muscle mass, and they may be labeled as a person who's living with obesity when really they may be healthier than someone who's thin with some comorbidities. Certainly obesity puts you at high risk for many, many illnesses, but as a whole, the body positivity will allow you to love yourself as you work toward being the healthier you, wherever that is.
So, and I want to touch upon the body shaming, because this is something that Lizzo talks about a lot. So we'll take a listen to a clip and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
The discourse around bodies is tired. I have seen comments go from, oh my gosh, I liked you when you were thick, why'd you lose weight, to, oh my gosh, why'd you get a BBL? I liked your body before, to, oh my gosh, you're so big, you need to lose weight, but for your health, to, oh my gosh, you're so little, you need to get ass or something, to, oh my gosh, why did she get all that work done? It's just too much work. Are we okay? Do you see the delusion?
So, Hillary, I'd love for you to touch upon this, because you are you're a popular person on social media platforms. The social media trolls always have something to say. So how often are people coming at you, really body shaming you and bullying you, but in the name of health, saying, oh, this is about your health? And what's your take on what Lizzo said?
It's constant for me. I can't give that much energy and time to it. I don't allow myself to, I should say. Of course, there are the trolls. There are people who are coming to you as if they are so concerned about your health. I get disgusting DMs and nasty comments all the time. When I became the Sports Illustrated model, it wasn't new to me that they were gonna come, but I knew that they came, and the way that they came was full force. I mean, I'm a pretty confident woman, and how hard people come and attack your health. And like someone said, use that as, you know, this staple to be able to tell you that you're fat. It really is demeaning. However, I really try to give a lot of people education about my body. My family has prepared me for this life, and I am a pear-shaped body. Most of my fat I carry in the bottom half of my body. So I don't have a lot of fat surrounding my vital organs, you know? So I really try to encourage people before you, I call them the internet doctors, but before you come and try to tell me what's healthy for my body type, please do your research. So it definitely is a journey, I can say.
Now, Tasha, you've devoted your life to health and fitness. You have been heavier. You've lost a lot of weight. Now you're a trainer, a very fit person, clearly. What do you make of this idea that people are concerned about health? Can you be heavy and still be fit and healthy in your experience with the people that you're working with?
I just feel like there's a line with that because I've been a lot of different sizes and a lot of different shapes. I've been bigger, then I recently got into bodybuilding last year, so I've been that size and like had that look about myself. And just kind of like Hillary, I've had people say, or honestly, and like Lizzo too, like, oh, you look better, girl, you look better when you thick, or oh my God, I don't like you this skinny. And I'm just like, well, first of all, it ain't about what you think. I like the way I look right now. But I did also try to make sure no matter what my size and my shape was, that I had a level of like health conscious about myself, right? So like, I used to pride myself on that I was like a thicker girl and I could still move and like I can jump and I can run, but you know, there was times I was doing that I was eating like crap. And to me, that's not healthy, right? Because healthy is not just what you looking like on the outside. It's like, well, what do your insides look like? And I always tell my clients, well, do you want to be 70 and be in a wheelchair? Like, do you want to be 65 walking around with a hunchback and you can barely get out your car and walk to the grocery store and have a good day? So I feel like it should just be, we should kind of like think about it more from the inside out and not the outside in.
But it really does feel like this is one of the few areas in society where people feel entitled to comment on other people's health. Nobody walks past someone who's smoking cigarettes and says, you're disgusting, but they do feel like they have the right to send Hillary these kind of DMs. So as 5 Black women sitting here, is this just another way of policing Black women's bodies and women's bodies overall? Because men also don't get it the same.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a way of policing Black women's bodies. And you brought, a great point about men not getting it. When Tasha said having a hunchback, I snatched my shoulders up. I just want y'all to know that. So I'm sitting erect. But it absolutely, it's being cruel to women. And I love the point that Hillary brought up about where she carries her weight, because it goes beyond just being trolled on the internet. It goes into life-saving procedures. So I'm a kidney doctor, a nephrologist. And in order to get a kidney transplant, the BMI is a measure that they use. And I've had women, specifically Black women, who've been rejected because of high BMIs. And the theory is that if you have too much fat around your vital organs, your kidneys, then the kidney transplant surgery could be problematic. And so beyond the fat shaming being a way to troll and to insult, it's preventing people from getting health care, specifically Black women. And no, men don't get it the same.
No, they don't.
So then do you think the body positivity movement is doing us a disservice in kind of normalizing bigger bodies in a way that has not been in the past? Or do you think this is a step in the right direction?
I mean, I'm going to be unpopular in this opinion, mainly just because I know the healthcare side of it. So it's one thing to be, positive and love yourself, but it's not about positivity or negativity. It's about reality. So the reality is, if you're obese and morbidly obese, meaning 35% of your body is actually fat cells, or as much as 50% of your body is fat cells, then that means that you're twice as likely to develop kidney disease, kidney failure. That means you're twice as likely to have a heart attack or a stroke. Or how about just pregnancy and childbirth? That puts you at risk to have complications and die from childbirth. Black women die 3 times more often than white women do as related to childbirth and maternity complications. And so it's not just when you get older, it's now. And we really have to pay attention to that and understand what that means. You're healthy until you're not healthy. You're healthy until you've had the stroke or you're on dialysis. So we really have to understand that and make choices so that we avoid those risk factors and those complications.
I wanted to take a different approach on that question that you asked, because me and Hillary are both on social media, and as far as when you say policing, right, like people just feel like they could just comment and just say whatever, but I feel like that goes into we kind of take a responsibility though in that way, right? Because we decided to put our bodies out there to be criticized in a way.
So with me being, a model and an influencer in this generation right now, and then also being an ICU nurse, I work with such critical patients. So when I listen to the doctors, it's actually enthusing to me. I love to hear it because they're right, But when I look at when I step out of the ICU, out of my scrubs, and then I tap into my modeling, influencing, when I'm in these communities with these women, it's a journey, one, but two, I see a lot of my plus size models and my plus size women, they go to yoga, we go to juiceries, we cycle, and especially my Black women, we love those things. Whenever I talk to people and talk to my models about make sure you're healthy, because I make sure that they know, obesity, if you're in the ICU and you're obese, your chances, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but it's very low for your survival. And it's very critical,
That's a great note to end on. And thank you all for your time. I appreciate you all and your perspectives. And we are going to be right back.